Hey guys, this is Jamie. So today I want to talk about a topic I've been avoiding a bit because, frankly, there's a lot of backlash specifically concerning from the fan bases, and I didn't feel like it was something I wanted to dive into. But at the same time, I guess I decided let's do it. So today I want to talk about Taylor Swift, Rihanna, and Kylie Jenner fans, and I specifically want to talk this about this because I feel like the fan bases are getting out of control. Obviously, fans have always been out of control. We've had everything from like Beatles mania in the US to One Direction, fans hacking airport security cameras, which is probably one of my favorite things that has ever happened. And now we have a whole fan base constructing an identity of a celebrity which we don't even factually know or understand. So the thing about Taylor Swift is the more I kind of see the interactions and everything, uh, it feels fake, and I still I understand that many people obviously manufacture their image under a certain way and in a certain way to appeal to a certain audience, and that's the way things work. But when it comes to Taylor Swift, I am very sort of amused from the distance that the shtick of pretty much jumping from boyfriend to boyfriend, nothing wrong, please, in that case. But it just feels like a bit repetitive to me, so I don't understand her music. I'm not the main audience for it either, and I would normally say, well, whatever, but I feel like in this case there's a lot of conservatives arguing when it comes to Taylor Swift, since her current boyfriend is in some big American football team. Again, I'm European, and people start sort of taking offense with her, and at the same time we don't really know her political stance, or it's sort of wishy-washy. And in general, we need to keep in mind that celebrities can endorse someone while vote for someone else. So when the listeners of Taylor Swift sort of think of Taylor Swift, they still try to project themselves, and the point of her songs is to be relatable. But then I really have to ask, like, is it relatable listening to a billionaire sing about being angry to an ex? Sure, it is relatable in the fact of an ex, but at the same time, that's where the relatability ends. And obviously, she has very serious blood on her hands in the fact that a fan died and she denied and didn't want to do. Okay, I'll have to speak clear on this because a fan in Brazil died because she didn't have access to water. The venue's selling water way too high, and Taylor didn't stop the concerts, and further, she didn't dedicate anything, and she didn't speak out, and she made it, or her team made a whole deal so that the tour would keep on going. I understand that tours take a lot of preparation time, a lot of resources, a lot of people go to them. But when it comes to people dying, I feel like this is something that has been happening in general. The more I feel like tours are getting a bit too much. The ticket prices are very high. You don't know what the experience is going to be like. And obviously right now, in an era of streaming, gigs are the main sort of source of income for many artists. But the same thing happens to Travis Scott, for instance, which was during while he dated Kylie Jenner. And people just excused Travis, and to this day, I haven't seen much talk, and people tend to forget the tragedies. They still go support their artist, and in the end, people who die during these concerts just they don't even get a slap on the wrist. They just probably get a shrug and they can move on tour and maybe get even more people killed. So that's one thing that I find alarming about Taylor Swift. And another one is obviously her the emissions of her jet, the fact that she keeps flying all the time. Like she flies all the time, from what I understood, back to Nashville to her house so she can rest in her bed because otherwise it's too difficult for her. And how to put this very politely, if we are all facing a crisis, it should be affected to everyone, not just someone gray or like little, like a person who doesn't matter. Just because she has the money and she has the resources to get a private jet and to pay off any bills and anything thrown her way, any sort of... Basically the point is, just because she can afford to pay a private jet to fly her every day doesn't mean that she should be doing it. Because if she's advocating for a greener future, she should be doing it herself. Because then it just doesn't make sense. It's like going up to a person, beating them up, and then putting them back in the hospital, nursing them back to health. That is not how it works. And she even sues the guy who was tracking her plane. And I mean, tracking a plane, or like, you literally can see on any website where your plane is going, and he's not exactly putting her in danger. This is access for everyone. It's very bizarre to even talk about Taylor because she feels so protected and she's so loved. And when it comes to say talking about Kylie Jenner, I feel like people sometimes can judge Kylie Jenner for doing the same jet thing, but they won't judge Taylor Swift. And then there's Rihanna, for instance. So we have these three celebs who all ride private jets, who have made a big deal out of using their private jets, or using their platforms. Or Rihanna has obviously became a billionaire because of her makeup, and people excuse her racist remarks. Taylor also has a past of racist remarks. Taylor also has a history of dating bizarre men. And then you obviously have the situation with Matty Healy, where the Swifties wrote an open letter to her saying that they don't want her to be associated with it, as if with Matty Healy, as if she has no brain of her own, as if people don't understand that behind her there's a massive behind the scenes, there's a massive amount of people who are working for her image, doing her marketing research, doing everything possible so that she remains relevant, so that her tickets keep getting sold out, so that she keeps getting even more and more money, not just for herself, but for all the people working for her. But I'd say just for the top, because obviously trickle economics doesn't really work here either. Just because Taylor gets richer, her fans won't get richer at this point either. And neither will her guards or anything like that. So I find it weird that even people who, let's say, have a more left thinking brain, or are more leftist or liberal, stan her when she's just like a pop star of capitalism, you know? And yeah, I just really don't understand. I remember, and I feel like at this point, because there's so many things happening to all celebs, like obviously Kylie Jenner has a very long list of problematic things, so does Taylor Swift, so does Rihanna. And there's jokes going around like, I will not aid Rihanna because she's my favorite when it comes to eating the rich and whatever. Or like, I will defend Kylie Jenner because of this, or I will defend Taylor Swift because of that. It's because people choose to project themselves into these molds. Like, someone wants to be an Nepo baby, boom, there's Kylie Jenner. Someone wants to be like this quirky girl who dumps her boyfriend, who can't find love, boom, Taylor Swift. Someone wants to be a boss-ass bitch, boom, Rihanna. So all of these things, and in general, pop stars can be seen as sort of like as an empowerment thing. Sort of, we look up to them, well, the people who do look up to them and see sort of a mold that we wish we were in. And it sort of trickles down into who do you want to be when you grow up. And it's not like I want to be a doctor or something. I want to be a singer so I can fly a private jet or something. And I understand that not everyone is of a sort of more socialist background or thinking that way. And people obviously support capitalism. But I do feel like there is no need to make excuses for a grown woman who is doing harm to the planet and saying she doesn't. And she should have really apologized and made a much bigger effort on her part when it comes to the girl in Brazil who died. As for Kylie Jenner, I mean, she broke up with Travis Scott eventually. I mean, that's all she could do, really. Obviously, it would have been better if she did something behind the scenes. If Kendall wasn't live streaming it, or was it Kylie? I am so sorry. It happened a while ago, so it's slipping my mind. But the point is, these incidents happen, and we are already used to forgetting them because there's so many of them. And we are aware that cancel culture doesn't exist anymore. And it wasn't ever a thing, because no matter what these people say, people will defend them to death. And if that person is a favorite and they will be defended in this small span of time where the allegations come in, they will be sort of liberated and from scrutiny from the public. Also, an interesting one was when accusations came from Courtney Love, for instance, in Me Too towards Trent Reznor, what she had seen, and people instantly forgot that Courtney Love was talking about Harvey Weinstein back in the 90s, and she would warn younger girls about him, and people obviously listened to her during the era of Me Too, but when Courtney asked Trent about certain things, he denied everything. And I remember the responses on RNN, or RNN 9 Inch Nails, whatever you want to call it, was really, oh, it's Courtney Love, we can't listen to her. Like, she speaks bollocks because Trent said so. So, people aren't really getting held accountable. Obviously, we don't know the stories. Obviously, there's a lot of money and power at play. But at the end of the day, I feel like the public shouldn't be putting more smoke screens or making it more impossible to even understand what's the truth and what it even is the celebrity like, if they are actually abusing their popularity, their power, and etc. And I feel like the more we go into the future, the more we just idolize these people, and because we see them as molds which we can fit ourselves into, we think, oh, one day I'll be like that. But the problem is that these people stand for nothing. And I feel like generations grow and we stand for nothing. And that's quite sad, but I've spoken about it. Obviously, we'll have a doomer problem. And the way things are going, things are really bad in the world. There's wars, there's climate change, and there's pop stars who get richer and richer and who want to jack shit. So, I mean, we're digging our own grave, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry this wasn't a very cheerful video, and yeah, if you enjoyed it, Please give a like. Feel free to share. Sharing is caring, I guess. Subscribe. I really appreciate it. And if you want to buy me a coffee, that'd be great. Thank you very much.